Good day, everyone. We are here to discuss about the Köppen system. I am Nazalmi Malones, and with me are Manzanares and Nolly James Marcial. At the end of the lesson, the students will be able to discuss the Köppen's climatic classification system, define terminologies associated with Köppen's system, and explain the major climatic types of Köppen's system and their characteristics. So before we proceed to the formal discussion, let's first uncover the terminologies in this topic. Köppen classification system, a system for classifying climates based mainly on annual and monthly averages of temperature and precipitation. Dry climate, a climate deficient in precipitation where annual potential evaporation and transpiration exceed precipitation. Polar tundra climate, a climate characterized by extremely cold winters and cool summers. Laterite, a soil formed under tropical conditions where heavy rainfall leaches soluble minerals from the soil. Xerophytes, a drought-resistant vegetation. Permafrost, a layer of soil beneath the Earth's surface that remains frozen throughout the year. Tropical monsoon climate, a brief dry period of perhaps 1 or 2 months, and marine climate, a climate controlled largely by the ocean. We all know that the similarity of climate within a given area allow us to divide the Earth into climatic regions, and one of the widely used classification is the Köppen system, which is based on the monthly averages of temperature and precipitation. This system was devised by the famous German scientist Waldemar Köppen, in which he employs five major climatic types designated by a capital letters, where A is tropical moist climate, B for dry climate, C for moist mid-latitude climate with mild winters, and D for moist mid-latitude climate with severe winter, E for polar climate, and H for highland climate. In the figure, we can see a simplified overview of the major climate types according to Köppen, along with some of the climatic controls. So we have here regions in green are the tropical, yellow regions are dry climate, red or orange regions are moist mild winter, blue regions are moist and severe winter, regions in white are the polar climate, and brown are the highland climate. The large H and L on the map represent the average position of the semi-permanent high and low pressure areas. The solid red lines show the average position of the intertropical convergence zone in January and July. The ocean currents in red are warm and those in blue are cold. Now let's go deeper to each types of the Köppen system. First, we have the tropical moist climate or the group A written by a capital letter A. It has a warm temperature with 18 degrees Celsius for all year around. It has an abundant rainfall with an annual average of 150 centimeter or 59 inches. It is sometimes called equatorial climate because it is located near the equator, specifically in the northward and southward with the latitude of 15 degree to 25 degree. Its maximum temperature during day is 30 degrees Celsius with a minimum of 20 degrees Celsius. These conditions support the tropical rainforest, which are dominated by a densely packed broadleaf evergreen trees. It includes the tropical rainforest of Amazon, Congo Basin in Africa, and other forests in Malaysia, Indonesia, and Southeast Asia. It has the most diverse habitat climate on Earth. And also, it has three major types based on seasonal distribution of rainfall. We have the tropical wet or AF, tropical monsoon or AM, and tropical wet and dry or AW. So first, we have the tropical wet climate written by a capital letter A and a small letter F. It has a small seasonal temperature variation less than 3 degrees Celsius. The weather here is monotonous and sultry or hot and humid. Tropical wet climate has an average of monthly precipitation of 6 centimeter, and no month is considered as rainfall deficient. Typically, the annual rainfall totals are greater than 150 centimeter, but in some cases it may exceed to the total of 400 centimeter or 157 inches, specifically in mountains or hills. It has a good precipitation because of its warm temperature that allows the water to evaporate and form clouds and then precipitate in the form of rain. The high humidity and the towering of cumulus clouds tend to keep the maximum temperature from reaching extremely high values. The soil in this type of climate is not excellent for agriculture because of the heavy rainfall that remove the nutrients from the soil, or what we call the leaching process. When agriculture activity continue to happen in this climate, most of the soil will become laterite or thick and red. Now we have the tropical monsoon climate, written by a capital letter A and small letter M, in which the monthly precipitation totals drop below 6 centimeter for 1 or 2 months. The annual rainfall totals are comparable to those in other parts of the country of the tropical wet climate, with annual rainfall exceeding 150 centimeter per year. Tropical monsoon climate can be seen along the coast of Southeast Asia, India, in northeastern South America, with a monthly mean temperature above 18 degrees Celsius or 64 degrees Fahrenheit. And lastly, we have the tropical wet and dry climate, written with a capital letter A and small letter W. Even if it has an annual precipitation that usually exceeds 100 centimeter and a monthly rainfall which is less than 6 centimeter, the dry season in this climate still lasts for more than 2 months. Most of the rain falls in a single season, and the rest of the year is dry. Few trees can withstand the long dry season, so the main plants here are grasses like in savanna. However, this kind of climate is not monotonously warm because of the cool season with a maximum temperature averages of 30 degrees Celsius to 32 degrees Celsius. At night, the low humidity and clear skies allows for rapid radiational cooling, and by early morning, the minimum temperature drops to 20 degrees Celsius or below. The principal areas having a tropical wet and dry climate are those located in western Central America, Amazon Basin, South Central and Eastern Africa, parts of India, Southeast Asia, and in northern Australia.
Hi everyone, I'm Janil John S. Manzanares and I'm here to discuss about the dry climates or the group B. This kind of climates has less precipitation than evaporation. It also covers about 26% of the world's land area. This kind of climate has two types, the arid and the semi-arid. So there are four characteristics of a dry climate. So low and unpredictable precipitation is the primary characteristic of a dry climate. The lowest rainfall occurs in arid or deserts area where precipitation average less than 35 centimeter or 14 inches per year. And some deserts have years with no rainfall at all, while the semi-arid regions are comprised of grassland characterized by short grasses and scattered small bushes. They receive slightly more rainfall than deserts and can receive up to 70 centimeter or 28 inches per year. Then another characteristic of a dry climate is the evaporation is often greater than precipitation. This results in a climate that lacks ground moisture due to the low average rainfall and rapid evaporation of the precipitation that does fall. The third common characteristic of dry climates are wide variances of seasonal and daily temperature. Deserts are usually found in the rain shadows of mountain ranges and have hot summers, cold nights, and moderate winters. However, in cold deserts, winter can be extremely frigid. In dry climates, the sun rays are more direct due to the lack of humidity. So the next one is the arid and semi-arid regions together make up 26% of land area of Earth, and deserts comprise 12% of the land. The great deserts of world are found in Sahara in North Africa, the Chihuahua, the Sonoran Deserts of Mexico, and the southwestern United States, and the Gobi Desert in Asia. So, let's proceed to the two types of dry climate. The first one is the arid or the deserts. This type of dry climates has low latitude. Arid deserts are found between 15 degrees to 30 degrees north and south latitude. This is where warm, dry air sinks at high pressure zones. And it also through deserts make around 12% of the world's land. So the next one is the semi-arid or the steppe. It has higher latitude than the arid. So these types of dry climate are found in continental interiors or in rain shadows. Semi-arid deserts receive between 20 to 40 centimeter or 8 to 16 inches of rain annually. The annual temperature range is large. So next is the Group C or the moist subtropical mid-latitude climates. These type of climates have warm and humid summers with mild winters. Its extent is from 30 degree to 50 degree of latitude, mainly on the eastern and western borders of most continents. So, the characteristics of this climate, the first one is the coldest month ranges from just below freezing to most balmy, balmy between -3 degrees Celsius and 18 degrees Celsius or 27 degrees Fahrenheit up to 64 degrees Fahrenheit. So, it also this type of climates, summers are mild with average temperature above 10 degrees Celsius or 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Seasons are distinct also in this climate, and there is plentiful annual rainfall. So this group C has three types. The first one is the Mediterranean climate. So this type of group C are found on western sides of continents between 30 degree and 45 degree latitude. It has annual rainfall up to 30 to 90 centimeter or 14 to 35 inches, most of which comes in the winter. So the next one is humid subtropical. These are found mostly on the eastern side of continents. Rain falls throughout the year with annual average between 80 and 165 centimeter or 35 and 65 inches. Summer days are humid and hot, from the lower 30s up to 40 degrees Celsius. So the last one is the marine west coast. These climate lines western North America between 40-degree and 65-degree latitude. This type of Group C, this area known as Pacific Northwest. It also oceans winds bring mild winters and cold summers.
Good morning, everyone. I'll be reporting moist continental climates. It is a warm, chill summer and cold winter with an average temperature of warmest month exceeds of 10 degrees Celsius or 50 Fahrenheit and an average drops below negative 3 degrees Celsius or 27 Fahrenheit. When winters in this climate are severe with snowstorms, blustery winds, better cold climate and controlled by large content. The average temperature of each coldest month must dip below 3 degrees Celsius and they are found in large land masses. It is located in the north of moist subtropical mid latitude climate. Its major types includes humid continental with not summers or DFA humid continental with cold summers and subpolar. So now, let's talk about its major types. First is humid continental with hot summer or DFA. It is observed from about latitude 40 Newton to 50 Newton. The precipitation is adequate and evenly distributed throughout the year. The annual precipitation total usually range from 50 to 100 centimeter. When humid continental climates are subdivided on the basis of summer temperatures, where summers are long and hot, the climate is described as humid continental with hot summer or DFA. Summer in this climate are often hot and humid, especially in the southern regions. The temperature often exceeds 32 degrees Celsius and 90 Fahrenheit, occasionally 40 degrees Celsius in midday. In north, where summer are shorter and not as hot, the climate is described as humid continental with long cool summer (DFB). In these climates, summers are not only colder but much less humid. Temperatures may exceed 35 degrees Celsius or 95 Fahrenheit when the winters are severe and summers short and cool. With only 1 to 3 months having a mean temperature exceeding 10 degrees Celsius, the climate is described as subpolar DFC, or known also as boreal climate and taiga climate. The precipitation in this climate is comparatively light in the subpolar climates, especially in the interior regions, with most places receiving less than 50 centimeters annually. In the taiga region of northern Siberia and Asia, where the average temperature of the coldest month drops to a frigid negative 38 degree or below, the climate is designated the FD, where the winters are considered dry. The climate is designated WD. Next is polar climates. It is a low temperature below 10 degrees Celsius found in northern coastal areas of North America and Eurasia. Greenland and Antarctica. It has a major types which includes polar tundra and polar ice caps. The polar tundra, the average temperature of the warmest month is below 10 degrees Celsius or 50 Fahrenheit. The ground is permanently frozen to deep of hundreds of meters, a condition known as permafrost. Next is the polar ice cap. In this region, the temperatures are never much above freezing even during the middle of summer. The coldest places in the world are located here. Precipitation is extremely meager, with many places receiving less than 10 centimeters or 4 inches annually. Next is highland climates. Temperature decreases in elevation, so climbing 300 meters can cause climate change equivalent to traveling 300 kilometers northward. It is not necessary to visit the polar regions to experience the polar climate, because when ascending a high mountain, one can travel through many climate regions in a relatively short distance. Figure shows that at the base of the mountains, the climate and vegetation represent semi-arid conditions, while the foothills, the climate becomes Mediterranean and the vegetation changes to chaparral. Higher up, thick fir and pine forests prevail, and the higher elevation, the climate is subpolar and taiga gives way to dwarf trees and tundra vegetation. Near the summit, there are permanent patches of ice and snow, with a small glaciers nestled in protected areas. So, based on the date, in less than 13,000 vertical feet, the climate has changed semi-arid to polar.
So here is the summary. Group A, which is the tropical moist climate, all months have an average temperature of 18 degrees Celsius or 64 degrees Fahrenheit or higher. Then under the group A, we have the AF, which is the tropical wet climate. Wet all seasons, all months have at least 6 centimeter or 2.4 inches of rainfall. Then the second one is the AM, the tropical monsoon climate. Winter dry season. Rainfall in driest month is less than 6 centimeter. Then the last one under the group A is the AW, tropical wet and dry climate. A short dry season, rainfall is driest month is less than 6 centimeter. So let's proceed to the group B. Group B, or the dry climates. Potential evaporation and transpiration exceed precipitation. We have the two types of group A. The first one is the BW, or the arid desert. It occupies about 12% of the world's land area. Then the second one is the BS, or the semi-arid. It it defined as lower winter temperature and most frequent snowfalls. So let's proceed to the letter C, or the group C, the moist subtropical mid-latitude climates. This type of climate has an average temperature of coolest month is below 18 degrees Celsius or 64 degrees Fahrenheit and above negative 3 degrees Celsius. Under the group C, we have the three types of it. The first one is the CS, which is the Mediterranean climate. It has average rainfall of driest summer month less than 4 centimeter or 1.6 inches. And the second one is the CF. And we have here the humid subtropical, which is hot, muggy summers. Then the CFB, which is the marine climate, summers are longer but still cool. And the next one is the group D, which the moist continental climates or moist with severe winter. It has warm to cold summers and cold winters. Under the group D, we have three of these. The first one is the DFA, the humid continental with hot summers. Summer are long and hot. Then the next one is the DFB, which is humid continental with cool summers, or the farther north where summers are shorter and not as hot. Then the third one is the DFC, or subpolar. It has winters are severe and summers short and cool, with only 3 months have a mean temperature exceeding 10, 10 degrees Celsius or 50 degrees Fahrenheit. So we have also here the group E, which is the polar climate. It has average temperature of the warmest month is below 10 degrees Celsius or 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Under the group E, we have ET, which is the polar tundra. It has average temperature of the warmest month is below 10 degrees Celsius but above freezing. And we have another here, the EF, the polar ice caps. It has average temperature for every month drops below freezing. Plant grow is possible. And the last one, we have the group H, which is the highland climate, which has temperature decreases in elevation. Thank you everyone for listening, and God bless us all. Thank you.